All right, David, thank you. Well, the city of Green Bay will be honoring the selfless actions of a Green Bay man who saved a child with autism from a busy street. We first told you about Weldon Tucker's life-saving actions yesterday. Tucker, who is currently working through homelessness, quickly jumped into action when a mother called for help after her 6-year-old autistic daughter started running towards traffic while the rest of the family was moving into a house. The family calls Tucker a hero. Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich has invited him and the family to the city's Common Council meeting coming up on August 19th, where he will present Tucker with a certificate of recognition, a small token of the city's gratitude.
Battalion Chief Ron